Hi, hello. Welcome to your flow. If we've never met before, I am Dom. I have very little control over lighting today, so I apologize. It's kind of like a weird lighting situation. I'm just having a problem with some lights. We can still do yoga though, yeah? If you're watching on Instagram and you would like to head over to YouTube, Dominate Cheshire Movement, this class is there as well, and we sort of have a bigger view here for you with less shadowing. If you would like to head on over. Props you will need for today. If you have blocks or block substitutes, I highly recommend. We have some really fun playfulness to our movement today, as well as I always like to keep a blanket sort of handy for supporting the knees, to slide under your head or over your body for Shavasana, all that kind of stuff. All that being said, let's do some yoga. So if you could find yourself in a comfortable seat, whatever that might look like, maybe you have a blanket that you can sort of scoot under your bum, maybe behind your knees, whatever feels good for you. And let's just let our hands fall onto our laps, or maybe on your body, or maybe on the floor. Maybe your seat looks different from mine, and that's totally perfect. And being exactly as you are, take a nice big breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Let's do that again. Inhale to breathe it in. Exhale, let it go. One more time. Inhale, take it in. Exhale it out. Allowing your body to settle, allowing your body weight to settle. Taking a moment before we start to move in our physical practice to just sort of take stock of where you are mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and also physically. The surfaces that your body is resting on, and not just the immediate layer, but maybe the layers underneath as well, until we go all the way down to the earth. Taking a moment to honor that maybe we are not indigenous to the land. Maybe you are. And if you are not indigenous to the land that you are on, giving a sweet moment of gratitude, thanks, and recognition for that. Taking a nice big breath in. Can we exhale, feel like we're blowing love, compassion, and caring into that surface we're resting on. Gently nodding your chin down towards your chest, taking your right ear around to the right, just for a little halvesies semicircle here. And then down, back towards center, all the way over to the left ear to left shoulder, down and around through center, right ear to right shoulder. Adding your own breath here, letting your breath be whatever you need it to be. As we find this little sweet circle or half circle, I always do my best to try to create as many options as possible within our movement practice together. However, your body, your practice, your choice. So if there's anything that is being blueprinted or offered in class together and it's not working for you, please feel free to freestyle. In fact, I encourage it. It might not be perfect classical asana, and I think that that's quite beautiful, actually, because we are revolutionizing movement in our body and agency of our body with movement. Taking these circles now, maybe bringing in a further back portion of that circle, coming all the way around back to center, and then going the other way, breathing around. If you prefer to practice with music, please feel free to pop something on. I keep my classes music-free online, mostly just so that we don't get shut off. But to give you the option to listen to what you would like to listen to. One more time, full circle in each direction. Really sort of indulging in the spaces that maybe feel more uncomfortable. Isn't that a mirror for life? Rolling ourselves all the way back up, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, both of the arms reach up. Can we grab a hold of the left wrist with the right hand? Reach up even taller. And can we feel like we're trying to draw our ribcage up off of our chest? Lift your shoulders up. Everything is trying to elevate, elevate, elevate. And then we're going to take that elevated side bend over to the right. creating, if we can, the experience of like an arc or rainbow up and over instead of just collapsing down. Trying to lift up and out, which means that left hip has to stay rooted down. And we're still lifting, reaching. Take one more breath in here. And then bring ourselves all the way back. Take those hands and shake them down. Inhale, the arms reach up. This time, grabbing a hold of right wrist with left hand or gently acquiring your right wrist in your left hand. And again, can we lift up? Now, even if you would prefer to not take hold of your body and just reach up and over and take a side bend, that's totally perfect. I would love if we could think about that lift, though. That part where we're drawing our rib cage, our tissue, our fascial layers up, and then taking that up and over. It was brought to my attention recently that my generation of humans like to use the word grab, and I'm so guilty for it. Grab your props, grab this. I'm just going to grab that. And I'm trying to make a conscious effort to replace that word with something a little more accurate and a little less aggressive than just grab. Take one more breath into that right side waist here. Exhale, bring it up and then shake again those arms down. We're going to bring ourselves up and off of our seat. We're going to take those side bends again. Can we reach your right leg out really nice and long? So this is where now if you would like to have something underneath your left knee to keep you nice and stable, a little bit more supported, feel free. Your right toes, this is going to be funky. Your right toes are going to turn to face forward. Thinking about that pinky toe edge side of your foot, we're thinking about scooping that pelvis forward and zipping up through that right thigh. The arms are going to reach up again. Maybe you take hold of your right wrist as we lift up and over. And as we take this side bend now, can you really push into that right foot? Breathing into the right side of the waist. And exhaling, keep firing through those glutes, keep pushing through that foot. Maybe your left hand is down beside you. Maybe it's on a block. Maybe you're in that arc, but letting ourselves really feel that lift up and over. So it's almost like it's more of a side plank. Take one more breath in and then bring yourself all the way up. Let's counter that by taking right hand to right thigh. Little counter side bend here. And then all the way up again. Whew. Shake it off. Going the other way. Left foot is going to plant down now. So left pinky toe wedge side of that foot, trying to parallel the top end of your mat, maybe. Scooping through your pelvis, and know that ankle angle is quite extreme. That's kind of part of it. Pushing through your foot if you can, zipping up through your thigh, finding yourself connected to those glutes. Reaching your arms up. Taking hold of your left wrist if that feels reasonable. And again, that lift up, that drawing up of our tissues up in space, lift. Making sure all of our foundation is turned on, and then we come up and over to the right. Feeling again that arcing sensation, that arcing experience as we do so. And try not to be squishy. Like, yes, we're lifting up, but I don't want you to give yourself a cramp through the top parts of your shoulders, into your upper traps, into your levator scap. We just want to feel that energy of the whole line of tissue or whole netting of tissue. One more breath in here. Bring yourself all the way up, and then again, shake it off. Really, really nice job here, team. Let's bring ourselves up onto hands and knees. Now, if hands and knees feels unreasonable, you're always welcome to bring yourself up for just a little bit of cat-cow here. So we're going to inhale to lengthen out through our tails. Now, you can let this be pretty, I don't want to say messy, but not particularly precious. Let this be whatever feels good as you start. As we breathe out, scoop, tuck, and round, push that floor away, rounding through your spine, letting your head be heavy. Now, I love tucking my toes here. I feel like it gives me a really nice stretch through the feet. As we inhale to lengthen. So again, don't worry about being too terribly precious for these first few. Just sort of allowing the shapes and the movement of the shapes to feel really, really nice in your body. And then as we do this, as we allow the shapes to just sort of mold and shape and change depending on how we're feeling, starting to add in a little bit of housekeeping. So my first point of housekeeping I would love to invite in is that we tone through the arms. Can we feel like all the muscles of our arms are having a really nice squeeze, like they're hugging to the bone? And as you add in that tension, notice if that tension to tension starts to travel throughout the body into other places, keeping these arms really nice and tight. As we inhale now, instead of thinking about dumping in our low backs, can we feel like we're using our arm tension to draw our chest forward, our collarbones forward, and focus on that more than anything else and see how that changes what we're doing? As we push away, can we think about scooping from that fleshy low belly space firing a little bit through the glutes, keep the arms toned, and then we're trying to really, really hollow that space between pubic bone and belly button. Suddenly a shape that became pretty not that big of a deal as we were maybe moving without tension starts to build a little more heat and fire with attention to tension. That's like definitely tricky to say when I'm focusing on teaching, but I kind of love it. Attention to tension. 2 more, lengthening it out, spreading through those tailbones, firing through those arm muscles, drawing our chest through our hands. As we breathe out, rounding, pushing that floor away, firing through the glutes, feeling that low belly hollowing. Ooh, really good, nice stretch there. One more time. Exhaling to scoop, tuck, and round. Now, can you keep really, really nice and rounded? Let's take that left arm and thread it through and sit ourselves back. As always, in class, it really, truly, I mean it when I say it's your practice. So anything that's not feeling fabulous, please feel free to omit, to freestyle. But if something feels uncomfortable, but maybe still reasonable, it's a great opportunity to consciously build resilience in the body. One more breath in here. As we breathe out, push into that right hand, scoop and round yourself all the way back up. Because remember, we're still in that nice roundy, tense shape. And then your right hand is going to scoop underneath you as you scoop and round yourself back, reaching through that arm. Feeling that right arm threading through here. Still trying to hollow that fleshy low belly space. And I don't mean hollow in a fashion sense. I mean it in an anatomy sense. 2 more breaths here, please. Inhaling it in. Exhaling it out. One more time, breathing it in. As we breathe out, using our body to bring ourselves forward, lengthen out through our tails. And then you can sit back in a child's pose, or if you'd like to give your wrists a little bit of a zhuzh, you totally can. We're going to be on our hands and knees for a little while longer. And so again, please feel free to take little breaks as you need. Coming up onto your hands, or you could side lie too, I guess. That would totally work as well. So hands underneath your shoulders. Knees underneath your hips. Super push that floor away. Now we're going to think about pelvic floor drawing up, shining through the tail, drawing into the collarbones, the ribs. And then as you breathe out, can we slide the right leg along the floor, but don't let the hips move. Draw the right leg back in. Keep toning through those arms. Slide the right leg along the floor. Don't let the hips move. Now, what I mean by don't let the hips move is that as you reach a leg, there's a chance that we might want to sort of sway side to side. And what I would love is to be connected deep into your deep transverse abdominis, your deepest core layer that connects to your pelvis, protects your spine. Let's go for 2. Reach it back. One more time. We're going to reach it back. Here's where we start to get really fun. Remember that tone in our arms? We're going to keep it. Remember that nice wide open collarbone? We're going to keep it. Remember that pelvis stability? We're going to keep it as we lift our leg up. Now, can you imagine that there's a wall behind you and you're trying to really, 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 really kick into that wall, like super duper duper kick into that wall, and feel your glutes, feel your thighs, really be like, yes, it's happening. We're excited. We're turned on. Let's take your left fingertips forward. Now, can we keep the right squeezing of those right arm muscles? And then let's lift the left arm out and up. Now, you could maybe do this fairly passively and everything would just float lovely and gracefully, which is fine. But if we're looking to build strength and stability here, I feel like it makes sense to make sure muscles are turned on here and toned and squeezing. And can we squeeze more? And can we reach more? For 2, for 1, bring it down. Nice job. Maybe sit back, give your wrist a little shakety shake. Simple, but we're building, yeah? And I shouldn't even say simple. Maybe that's not so simple. Maybe that there's some other stuff happening there and that feels like so much work, and I'm hoping it does. Okay, let's do the other side. So finding that nice stable sort of home base here where we're pushing the floor away, the arms are squeezing, collarbones wide, low belly up and in. We're like so ready to rock and roll here. Left leg is going to slide back along the floor, just sort of doing a little check-in and notice if your hips are swaying. Pull that left leg back in, take a little pause, maybe regroup, check in with your housekeeping, and then slide that left leg back. One more time, drawing the left leg in. Reach the left leg back. Then as if there's a little puppet string at the smiley part of your bum cheek, let's lift that left leg up. Pushing the floor away, right fingertips come forward in space and then pause. So super zip through your thigh. You're trying to push something away from you. Draw the rib cage in, draw the low belly in, but don't round the spine. Maybe lift the right fingertips up off of the floor, but your arm is still nice and strong and tense here. So all of the muscles in your body are firing. We're pushing the floor away. We're squaring off hips and shoulders. We're zipped up through the thigh. We're reaching through that arm. We're toned through your arm for 2, for 1. Let's lower it down. Sit back, give your wrist a little shaky shake. However you would like to get there, we're going to make our way up to standing. So if you would like to maybe take a little quick downward dog, you can, and just gently walk those feet forward. Let's meet in a forward fold near-ish to the top of our mat. Gentle bend in the knees if you'd like to. Give your hands a little rub together to toast them up. And then you're going to give your hamstrings, your glutes, your thighs, your hips a bit of a rub. Maybe up into your neck, maybe into your jaw, your hairline. Just a little bit of a lovey moment. Gently releasing your torso down. Super bend your knees so your chest has a moment to connect to your thighs. And we push the floor away, firing through the backs of those glutes as we roll ourselves up, stacking tall. Maybe those arms reach up with us, letting the arms come down around behind us. Take an inhale, big shoulder circle up towards our ears. Exhale it out. One more time, nice big shoulder shrug up towards our ears. Exhale it out and then pause. So we're going to be adding a few pieces of the pie together today. So that back leg reach with 1. If you're familiar with asana practice, maybe you're like, oh, I see where this is going. All right, let's root down in that left leg. Let's roll up to the right toes. So left leg pushing down, right leg is getting ready to lift. Without our hands, can we lift that right leg up? You're going to give it a nice squeeze here. Keeping your right hip hugging back, we're just going to turn that leg out. And then back to center, and then rotate it internally, and then back to center. No hands, turning it out to center. Now, if your range here doesn't look like mine, please don't worry about that. This is your practice, your body, your choice, yeah? And also, it's good to know what like our bubble range looks like, yeah? Turning it out, internally rotate it. One more time, turn it out. Internally rotate and then freeze. Can you keep that leg nice and parallel? Maybe hands, she falls over. Maybe hands come to support your thighs. We reach that right leg out nice and straight and strong. Can we keep pushing, just like we did when that leg was behind us? Maybe there's an opportunity to reach those arms up. Can we squeeze everything here for 2, for 1, bring it down, give it a squeeze. If you felt a little hip flexory there, for sure Z's you will, for sure. Okay, let's go to the other side. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it. All right, other side. So rooting down through that right leg, rolling up to those left toes. Take a little check-in. We're not sitting out in our hips. We're like ready to rock and roll. Gently, without your hands, bringing that left leg up. Now it goes as high as makes sense for you. Maybe it's down here. That's perfect. Without using our hands, can we turn that thigh out? Then bring it back to center. And then internally rotate it the other way. Bring it back to center. Turn it out to center. Internally rotate it. So good for strengthening through your hips, yeah? Turn it out. Back to center. Turn it in. Back to center. 2 more. Turn it out. And notice side to side how your range might be different too, right? Way trickier for me on this side. Turn it out to center. Turn it in. Ooh, good crack there. And then maybe your hands come underneath, that leg reaches out. Now, just like we practiced with our legs behind us, can we feel like we're pushing that foot away, zipping up through our thigh? Maybe we reach those arms for 3, for 2, for 1. Bring it down, give it a shake. Shake. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, shake them down. Again, inhale, reach it up. Exhale, shake it down. Taking a little pause, finding yourself to the top of your mat. I promise these pieces add together. Inhale, the arms will sweep up overhead. Nice and slow and calm as we breathe out, melting down in space, finding your forward fold. Inhaling to come up halfway, lengthening through that spine. As we breathe out, planting through the hands, can we step both of our feet back, please, finding your tabletop, a kneeling plank or a full plank. Taking a breath in here. Taking a breath out. We're going to home base it out for this first one. And then every time we're here, know that these are all the things you're thinking about. So we're pushing that floor away, finding the strength in the arm the way we practiced before. Drawing the collarbone wide, hug the heels of your hands down towards your knees. And then whatever lower body, whether it's knees and toes or just knees, whatever's working for you, hug that towards the midline too. Glutes are on. Take 1 more breath in. And then gently lowering down, keeping the collarbones wide as you do so. Flipping through your toes, Palms are connected to the floor as we inhale, just a little baby back bend to start. Exhale it down. We're doing that again. Inhale, little baby back bend. As you do so, can we think pubic bone to the floor, not pushing into our ribs, not pushing into our hip bones. Lower down. One more time. Lengthen it out and up. Maybe lift those hands to hover. Feel the shoulder blades squeezing on the back, but keep the tops of the shoulders nice and wide. Gently place the hands back down beside your ribs. Lower your torso to the floor. You can reverse engineer and push up, or however you would like to, making your way into a downward dog, a child's pose, a hands and knees, whatever's going to be most conducive to you in your practice. Take a big breath in here. Stick your tongue outside out. Now, I would like downward dog to be our home base for our practice today. It's where we're going to do all of our check-ins, right? How are we feeling? How's our breath moving? How's the tension in our body? It is not a rest, and it's definitely not a break. There's a lot happening through here, yeah? So if downward dog does not feel like where you want to make your home base check-in, it's like in Monopoly when you collect $200 to pass go. It's like that. Instead of collecting $200, we are checking in with all of our little housekeepings. So pick a place that you would like to be if this isn't it. Finding a moment of stillness if you can in your shape, whichever shape that is. Taking your inhale in, exhaling it out. Now your exhale can be through your mouth, it could be through your nose, but just make sure you're breathing however makes sense for you. We're going to inhale from here to sweep your right leg up. You can open your hips here, bend your knee to tap your bum with your right heel. And as we're opening up in space, we're trying to make sure the right rib cage doesn't spiral with us. You can 100% be on a hands and knees to do this. Lifting it up and back, opening it up here. One more breath in, one more breath out. We're going to square those hips off, reach the right leg back, and then lower the right foot down. Checking back in with your home base, your housekeeping, whatever that looks like for you. If you're in your downward dog, you're making sure you're pushing the floor away like you did in your plank. And when you're ready, that left leg is going to sweep up. Bending your knee to tap your bum towards your heel, or heel towards your bum, opening through that thigh. Checking in, make sure the left ribs aren't opening so we don't slip into a wild thing. Lifting it up here. One more breath in. Squaring off those hips, bringing yourself all the way back down. Ripple forward into your plank. Now, another option instead of lowering in one long line is to go more classical knees, chest, chin. So to do that, we super bend. We find our knees. Then we find our chest. Then we find our chin. Slither forward into an extension of back bend of your choice. Roll through those toes, lift up, downward dog. Take a big breath in here, please. Exhaling it out. Inhale to lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward. Many little steps, a hop, a jump, whatever you want to make your way up to your forward fold. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhaling to melt it down, bending your knees, pushing your feet through the floor as we roll ourselves all the way up in space. Exhale, let those hands come down. Inhale, big reach up, and then shake it off. Inhale, reach it up. Shake it off. Inhale, reach it up. As we exhale, melting forward over those legs. Inhale to come up halfway. As we exhale, lowering down, stepping back through your plank, finding a flow of your choice. Maybe it's knees, chest, chin. Maybe it's no flow at all. Maybe it's more of into your more push-up-y type situation. Up and back. Breathing it in here. Breathing it out. Inhale to reach that right leg up again. Maybe bend the knee. Maybe find that sweet moment of opening. And then square off the hips, reach the leg long, pull the right leg in, plop the right foot down in between your hands, however you need to get there. Let's lower that back knee to the floor, hug those legs in, reach the arms up. So feeling all of these nuances of nice, strong, supported structure here, yeah? Lengthening up in space. Breathing it in. Breathing it out. Maybe it feels appropriate to take a hold of that left wrist with the right hand and take that side bend over here. Now notice I'm not super sitting into my hip flexors here, even though I totally could. I'm hugging my legs in to keep them really, really nice and supported. One more breath in. As we breathe out, bringing ourselves all the way up. Little pitch forward. Plant your left hand on the floor. Rotating around. Now maybe your right hand comes to your right thigh as you take that twist. And then maybe your right arm reaches up to the ceiling. Just a little subtle twist here. Breathing in. Breathing it out. Maybe it feels reasonable to lift that back thigh if you would like to, hugging those legs in. And then gently lowering your knee to the floor. Bringing that arm down. We're going to bring our right hand to the inside of the right foot. Walk your right hand a little bit wider. Hug those legs in. Now this is going to feel kind of funky. Can you find a space with the right hand to stay connected to the floor? And then you're going to rotate over to the left. Keep hugging those legs in. Keep lengthening through that spine. Maybe you lift up, she says falling over, through that back thigh. Now as you're here, maybe there's an opportunity to hover those fingers just for a hot little second. And then lower the fingers, lower the knees, bring the hands back down. Walk your right foot until it finds the center again. Plant through those hands, firing up through your back thigh. Step it forward. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it down. Press your feet through the floor as we roll ourselves all the way back up in space. And then exhale, let those hands come down. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, shake them down. One more time. Inhale. This time as we breathe out, we dive forward over those legs, keeping a bend as you need. Inhale to feel like every time we move, we get a bit longer here. Exhaling to lower down, your choice to flow, your choice to child's, your choice to downward dog. However feels good for you, moving with your breath. Inhaling to bring out and up. And then we meet back in whatever your home base posture is. Again, it could be many things. If you're in your downward dog, however, pushing that floor away, zipping into those ribs, just like you did in your plank. Inhale, that left leg sweeps up this time. Maybe bend your knee, tap your heel and your bum towards each other. Maybe taking a sweet moment to open through that thigh. And then we square off through those hips, pull the left leg in, place the left foot between the hands, right knee lowers. Now, of course, you can get there however makes sense to you, bringing those arms up. And so if we've practiced together before, you'll know that I'm not a super big advocate to leaning into stretches. I'm way more about finding support in the shape. It's going to support your longevity of movement, which is really what we want, right? We don't want to just practice for today. We want to be able to practice for tomorrow too. Arms are reaching up overhead, feeling that lift up, still hugging the legs in, still finding that right bum cheek. Maybe taking a hold of the right wrist with the left hand, radiating up. Side bending it over. Really gorgeous moment for the work of the fascia through the top of your shoulders, your shoulder blades, your neck, as well as into your hips and low back. Take one more breath in here, bringing yourself all the way up. Let's pitch it forward. Plant the right hand on the floor. Keep hugging those legs together, rotating your spine to the left and then reaching that left arm up. If it feels reasonable here, keep hugging everything in. Maybe that right thigh is going to hover off of the floor. Can we still think about a nice long body through this shape? And even though the right hand is on the floor, it's tight, it's taut. Shoulders not collapsing to the ear. If your right knee is lifted, let's lower it to the floor, bringing both of your hands down. Wiggle your left foot a little bit wider to the left. Left hand comes to the inside. Now, it might be flat, it might not. Can we keep the hugging of the legs, the lengthening through the spine, and then we're going to open out to the left. Feeling how these twists and turns in the body maybe invite different experiences and sensations. If it feels reasonable, maybe lift that back left thigh, and maybe there's an opportunity to hug the fingers off of the floor. Holding tension in the body, feeling that rotation, taking one more breath in, gently lowering through the knee, through the hands, bringing that arm all the way back and down. Take your left foot, walk it back towards center, so hands are framing the foot, fire up through that back leg, and then step it forward. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it forward, bending through the knees, pushing the floor away as we roll ourselves up, and then shake those hands off at the top. Again, inhale to lengthen up. Exhale, shake, 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 shake. Inhale, the arms reach up. This time we exhale, melt it forward. Inhale, halfway to lengthen. You got it as we plant our hands, stepping back, finding a flow that works for you here. Inhaling if you're moving in the more traditional route. Exhaling to widen the collarbones, shoulder blades away from the ears as we inhale to lengthen. Then exhale up and back into your home base. Maybe it's a downward dog, maybe it's something else. Big breath in here, please, team. Exhale it out. Inhaling it in. Exhale, maybe there's a here for you. One more time, breathing in. And out. Inhale. Maybe that right leg reaches up. Maybe the hips open. Maybe you bring your heel towards your bum and open up through that thigh without rotating through the shoulders. Squaring those hips back off, reaching through your three-legged dog, pulling the right foot forward, plant the right foot between the hands. We're going to pivot those left toes out so we start to find ourselves windmilling up into our warrior two. Intersecting through those feet so your right toes are pointing forward, back, pinky toe edge side of your foot parallels the mat. Bending into those front knees, reaching those arms up. Enjoying this moment of our searching warrior. Lengthening out through those arms, grounding through the body, and keeping all those little pieces of tension we've been working on. If you'd like to add a little bit of extra excitement to this, maybe lifting to hover through that front heel. Front heel hovers, we're hugging the legs in. Maybe you can bend a little deeper in that knee without sitting in our joints though, yeah? We're hugging everything in. Maybe you can keep that heel hovered, flip your front palm as we take ourselves into our exalted warrior here. Breathing in, breathing out. Can we find that lift up and over our waist just like we did when we were practicing our side bends? Bringing our torso back up, plant through that heel. Now from this place, can we start to sort of like peek forward over the edge of where our feet are and maybe start to transfer our weight? And then we're going to put it back. We're back in our warrior two. Okay, that was kind of fun. Let's do that again. Take like a little peek forward. Maybe you're getting a little lighter on those back legs. And then bring it back down. Whew, maybe you do a little prep to sort of like, give yourself a little swing up. And then bring it down. One more time. Little swing up, little prep. Lower that leg and then pause. Find yourself back in your warrior two. Little bit of a dance to get here. We're taking that back hand. We're sweeping the back hand down and in front of us, pivoting on those back toes until we're up in a high lunge. Enjoying this moment of high lunge, hugging all these pieces of the pie together. Bring your hands down to your heart. We're going to do another little sort of swingy prep. You're going to take a little peek over to the edge of those toes and then maybe transfer the weight the back leg lifts. Remember, we've been here before, and then lower it back down like, whoa, that was super fun. And then let's do that again. Take a little tip forward, fire through the back leg, reach it back just like we practiced on hands and knees, and then bring ourselves back down. Just shifting for my Instagram friends. One more time, little peek forward. Maybe that back leg lifts up. Feel like you're pushing something away. Lower it back down. We are in our high lunge. Inhale to get really nice and tall here. Can we take a hold of that left wrist, lift up a bit higher, take that side bend over to the right, bending into that front leg, straightening the back left leg as much as we can. Maybe there is a bend there though, yeah, if that feels better for your joints. Bringing yourself upright, lifting up nice and tall. Planting the hands down. Now, your choice if you would like to step back to flow, if you would like to step back to a child's pose, whatever feels good for you. Inhale. Maybe you knees, chest, chin it to the floor. Inhale, little spiral forward. I don't know what word that was. And then up and back, downward dog. Take a nice big breath in here. Exhale, side out. Again, your home base, your practice, your body, your choice. If you are in a downward dog, we're pushing that floor away, tensing through the arms, drawing the ribs in, lengthening through the tail. When you're ready, finding a little bit of stillness. And then that inhale leg will inhale, that left leg will rise up, bending through the knee, maybe opening through that hip just a wee bit. Squaring off through the hips, reaching the left leg back, draw the left leg in, plant the left foot down. We're going to pivot those back right toes to find ourselves windmilling up into our warrior two on our second side. Right pinky toe edge side of our foot framing the back edge of the mat. Left knees and toes are pointing forward, and we're hugging this shape in, feeling the work, the energy of our legs as our arms reach out. Maybe there's an opportunity here with hugging those legs in to lift the heel to hover. Don't go into your highest half toe, just go about halfway, but keep hugging the heels in. Maybe you can bend a little deeper, hug the thighs towards each other, zip up that back thigh. Find your breath. Feeling the work here, the arrival, the presence of this warrior shape. Taking your left palm, flip your left palm up. Let's exalt this warrior, maybe bending a little more into that front leg. Thinking about that lift up and over of the waist, not collapsing here. Breathe it in. My legs are shaking. Breathe it out. Using the top hand to bring you up, plant through that foot. And then here's where we take that little peek, see what's going on, and then maybe we sort of like, whoop, lift that left leg up and then lower it down. Okay, that was kind of fun and exciting. Maybe adjust a little bit and then we can lean forward and lift. See how that feels? And then lower down. Maybe you sort of swing it back. Give yourself a little bit of a lunge into it. Bringing it down. Let's do one more. Finding that drift forward and up. And it could be so playful. In fact, I would love if it was playful. Bringing yourselves back into our warrior two. Back right hand sweeps down towards the floor in front of us. We pivot those back toes. We arrive up in our high lunge. Now, depending what's happening for me on this side, I'm really, really tight through the whole right side of my pelvis. So a bend in the back knee goes a long way, but my leg is not lazy. It's still hugging in. Arms are up. Are we ready to go for this little tipperoo again? Maybe we kind of peek forward and then give a little bit of lift. Reach that leg back and then plant it back down. Okay, that was super fun and exciting. Can we bring hands maybe to heart as you lift out and up? Really push off of that standing leg. Whew. One more time. Little tip forward. Lift that back leg up. Whew. Plant it down. That's the official noise when you're experimenting with a warrior three. Arms reach up in space. Again, we're trying to lift that rib cage off. Like really, really think about elevating it. Please don't think about keeping your ribs in for this one. We're trying to sort of get some elevator muscles here at the opportunity to elevate safely. Taking a hold of your right wrist with your left hand, lift, 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 and then take that side bend up and over to the left. So again, maybe you have the range to have a strong back leg here. Maybe you need a bit of a bend. Maybe we're lifting up as much as we can, trying to not squeeze our shoulders to our earlobes. It's happening way underneath us. One more breath in here. Breath out. Bringing ourselves upright, lowering those hands to the floor. Fire up through that back leg, step it forward. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it down. Press your feet through the floor, ripple, roll yourself all the way up in space, and then shake the hands down. Do that again. Inhale, big sweep up. Shake the hands down. Give yourself a wiggle. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. Take a pause. Finding your breath, finding your body in space. So we're about to add a whole bunch of pieces of a pie together that include the reaching back, that include the reaching forward, that include a lifting up. So just know that the reason we call practice is because it's never supposed to be perfect. It would be boring if it was perfect. And the energy that I hope to bring to this next little chunk of time together is playfulness, yeah? So it's okay. It's playful. It just is. It is what it is. Releasing those hands down beside you. Take a breath in. Let's do it all together in community. And exhale it out. We're going to bring our hands to our hips. We're going to root down in that left leg. We're going to roll up to our right toes. Starting to look familiar? We're going to bring our right leg in and up towards us as much as we can. We're going to take that right leg right out of the gate, flex through your foot, and push that right leg away. Now, maybe it's low, maybe it's high, maybe it's in the middle. Who cares, right? It's wherever works for you. Try to square off through those hips. Maybe you lift your arms up. Can you think maximum tension in the body here? Now, with your arms up, maybe you're lifting up in some huge elevation for 3, for 2, for 1. Now, don't put the leg down. Pull the leg in. We're going to start to tip ourselves into that warrior 3. Maybe your hands come to your heart. I'm just going to bring mine in so that you can still hear me. Now, again, maybe your leg is low. Maybe it's a bit higher. But we've been here before, so maybe hands and knees is where you want to be. But remember when we were on hands and knees, we were talking about pushing that leg into an imaginary wall behind us. Maybe those arms are reaching forward. Maximum tension here for 3, for 2, for 1. Don't put the foot down. Pull the leg in. Oh gosh, I'm going to tip over. Woo! Pull the leg in. Don't put it down. Take a breath in here. Take a breath out. We're going back into that space, but it's going to look a little different this time. Start to tip yourself back, but don't reach your leg out fully. Keep yourself in a bit of like a tippy tight ball. We're going to start to turn, she says, falling over, turn our hips so that we're facing kind of sideways. Maybe you want to look down at the floor here. And then if this all feels reasonable, then maybe the leg extends, flexing through that foot in that half moon. We were very much in a shape to sort of prep for this on the floor, so maybe that's where you'd like to be here. Strong arms for 2. Is your left leg dying? Left 1. Can you reverse engineer this? So pull yourself back up and in to a tight, tight ball. One last time. Kick that leg out. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then we're going to sort of like pendulum swing that leg back into a high lunge. Whew. That was quite the series. Lifting up through those arms, maybe a gentle bend in that back knee. Taking hold of the right wrist with the left hand to lift ourselves up. Side bend it over to the left. Taking your breath in here. Taking your breath out. Lifting ourselves upright. Get nice and tall. Let's take ourselves to the floor. Your choice if you like to flow, if you'd like to child, if you'd like to pause in a home base. Take a breath in. As we breathe out, gently melting towards the floor. Inhale, back bend of your choice. Just trying to stay nice and wide through the chest. And then up and back, downward dog. Let's take 5 breaths in our home base here. So remembering again, home base can be whatever you need it to be. Nice big breath in. Nice big breath out. Breathing it in. Breathing it out. Coming back to your body, your practice. How are things feeling? Maybe getting so excited to do all of that all again on the other side. When you're ready, lift your heels, bend your knees on empty. Make your way up, feet towards hands, top of your mat. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it forward. Press your feet through the floor. Ripple, roll yourself all the way up. And then again, shake it off. Inhale, the arms reach up. Shake it off. Inhale, arms reach up. This time down through heart center. When you're ready, releasing hands down beside your hips. Placing your hands on your hips. Here we go, other side. Let's just jump right into it. So rooting down through that right foot as much as we can. Zipping up through that right thigh. Waist is connected. Let's roll up to those left toes. Without using your hands, can you lift that left leg up? Squeeze it in. Now remember, it can be wherever you need it to be for your body. Can we flex through that foot? It's already happening. It's already spicy. And push that left leg away. Now maybe there's a bend here, yeah? And only, again, it's your body, it's your practice, whatever's making sense for you. Pushing that left leg away. Maybe it feels reasonable to reach the arms up. And remember, we're trying to lift the rib cage up and off here as we're trying to push out. Huge fascial work here. Tensing up through the whole body for 2. For 1, we're going to bend the leg in. Maybe hands come down to your heart. Now, just like we've been doing when we go into our downward dogs, we're going to tip and we're going to try to lift that thigh up again. Now, we're not opening our hips right away. We're trying to stay really nice and square, which is so much work for that supporting bum cheek. Whew. And then maybe we reach that leg out. Flexing through that back foot, toes to the floor. Super zipping up through that back thigh. Maybe there's an opportunity to reach some arms here. Maybe they want to stay closer. Mine definitely want to stay more contained on this side. Reaching out through that leg. Are you shaking? I'm shaking. Let's go for 2. For 1, now don't put it down. Can you reverse engineer? Pull the shape back in. Taking a second to be like, okay, that was really fun, but we super know we're not done yet. Last little bit of business. You're going to keep yourself in a nice tight ball as we start to tip just a little bit so that we feel that change of the pelvis. Okay, now we start to turn our hips towards the wall. I'm definitely going to fall over here, yeah? So know that we'll all be here together. Zipping up through that standing leg, and maybe there's an opportunity to straighten that back leg. Maybe there's an opportunity to look to the floor, open the arms. For 3, for 2, for 1, don't put that foot down if you can help it. Reverse engineer, pull in, pull in, pull in, pull in. And then take the left leg back into a high lunge. Whew. Anyone else's right foot, like tingly, tingly, tingly from all of the nerve sensors there? Reach your arms up. Maybe there's a bend in the back knee. Maybe there's not, depending how your body's feeling. Reach those arms up. Let's take hold of the left wrist with the right hand. Lift. We want to pull the rib cage up off of the waist. Take that side bend over to the right. Breathing in here. Can you hear how out of breath I am from balancing? Holy moly. Breathing out. Lifting the shape up, getting nice and tall, pitching ourselves forward here. This time we're going to step back into a plank of your choice. Any plank will do. Kneeling plank, hands and knees. Maybe you're on your forearms and knees. Yeah, whatever's going to make the most sense for your body. Breathing it in. Breathing it out. Now, wherever you are, can you step your left hand forward just a little bit? Just a little bit. That could also be your left forearm. We're pivoting over towards the left side to find our left side plank here. You could be on knees. You could be on one knee. You could be on your forearm. If you're on your forearm, can you please make sure that your whole forearm has rotated with you? Fingertips pointing forward. Hug that left forearm in. Lift it up for 2. For 1, with control, can we dismount? Find your center wherever your center is. Now, I'm going to end up turning to face away from you, but know that I'm still here with you. Wherever you are, right hand or right forearm scooches forward a little bit. Rotating towards the right side of our body here. Glutes are on, lifting the hips up. Shoulder blade on your back. Hug that forearm in. And maybe you have 1 leg. Maybe you have 2 legs. Maybe you're up on your hands and your legs. But we're not ever giving up pushing that floor away. We're not ever giving up stacking the hips, squeezing the bum for 2. With control, can we dismount? Find center. Take 1 more breath in, and then gently find the knees to the floor. Sit your bum back. Good work, team. Big breath in here, please. Big breath out. Again, big breath in. Big breath out. Now, if sitting back all the way in a child's pose doesn't feel good for you, because sometimes it doesn't feel nice on the joints, you can always take a blanket and tuck it behind your knees. It's going to sort of cushion the flexion for you. Or you can flip onto your back if you would like. That's a nice mod as well. Coming down into our breath. When you're ready, maybe walking the hands over to the right. As the hands go to the right, that left hip is going to hug back. Breathing it in here. Breathing it out. If you're on your back, you can take a twist over so that your legs go over to the right. And taking those hands through center, walking them over to the left. As they go to the left, your right hip hugs back. Calming it down now. Hands walk towards center. Let's ripple ourselves all the way up. Slide out any extra props from behind your knees. And let's roll onto, actually, let's not roll. Let's come to seated. And I would just sort of like us to crisscross applesauce through our legs. So right leg is going to be forward. Now, again, maybe you want to keep a bit of a boost underneath your pelvis. Love a good boost, just so that our knees aren't squeezing up towards our waists, yeah? We're going to take our right hand out beside our right hip here. Maybe I'll even turn and face us, face each other for this one. Right hand out beside us, left arm up. Take that nice walking side bend over. Breathing in here and out. So good to challenge our body in different angles and challenge tension in our body at different angles, especially when we're used to a flow looking and feeling a certain way. Just the simple act of adding more tension can be a huge change to our practice. When you're ready, gently bringing yourself all the way up. Now, can we keep the left foot tucked in? The right leg is going to go out, and it can go in a bit of a diagonal. It definitely doesn't have to be straight. You've just sort of like unfolded it from where it was, but let's flex up through that foot. Sitting up really, really nice and tall. And then that right hand can go for a little walk down the leg as we side bend it. Now, this whole class we've been working on lifting up and over, right? So let's not let go of that energy now. Let's keep it going. Breathing it in, feeling how that left hip is sitting down. It's amazing how the systems in our body work. Like what you do at your pelvis ripples up and affects your shoulders, your neck. And you keep your right leg where it is. Start to turn your chest towards your right thigh. Maybe your hands plant, maybe they don't, but can you scoop and round back? Lots of fabric here. Scoop and round back. So it's like your forehead is trying to tap towards your knee. One more time, breathe it in here. As you breathe out, walk yourself back, turn to that right side bend, bring yourself all the way up, little counter side bend, left hand to the floor, right arm over. Let's bring ourselves up, pull the leg in and switch. So your left foot is going to go in front, please. Maybe adjust your little booster seat if you need. And then that right arm is going to come up, walking the left arm out, side bending it over. Letting your breath now be free and calm and all the things you need it to be. Maybe a good yawn comes out of there. I deeply believe in freeing the yawn. That's what one of my teachers encourages, and it was very liberating to have been told that. One more breath in here. As we breathe out, let's bring ourselves all the way up. You're just going to extend that left leg out from where it is. Just make it parallel, please. I would like it to be not turned out. That left hand can go for a little toboggan right up and over as we take our side bend to the left. Feeling that right hip drawing down. Enjoying maybe this rainbow curve. And remember, we're not sinking into that side bend. We're lifting up and over. And that reminder serves for me as well as you. Yeah, it's for all of us. Keeping that right hip glued to the floor. Can we scoop in on that belly, turning our chest down towards that left thigh? Feeling the rotation on top of this side bend, yeah? And it's not like a straight spine. We're really trying to like scoop up and over ourselves. Breathing it in, breathing it out here. And so maybe in these types of shapes, knowing that our pelvis is directly tissue-y connected to our shoulders, maybe we can feel that relationship here. Walking your hands back so that we can take that side bend over to the left, bringing ourselves all the way up, plant the right hand, take a little counter side bend, and then bringing it up. If you have something behind your bum, you're welcome to scoot it out of the way. Maybe it lowers down to the floor to support your head and your shoulders, as we're gonna make our way all the way onto our backs. Now, if you feel like you want a shoulder bridge here where you would roll your hips up and down, that's fine, but just remove anything from underneath your head. If you're ready to go for a little cuddle, you're gonna bring your legs in towards you, give yourself a little rock side to side. And then we're gonna reach our arms and our legs up. We're gonna get a little silly here before we calm down. Can you start to shake through your ankles, shake through your hands, shake through your fingers, and then maybe it starts to reverberate down to your legs, to your shoulders. Maybe you curl and everything comes off the floor and you're shaking as much as you can for 3, for 2, for 1, and then to the floor. Don't hit your hand on a surface though, that kind of hurts. Letting our body land in our final shape together here today, Shavasana. The shape where all of the work gets to resonate through the cells of your body, through the tissues of your body, where things that feel like they're holding and tight can soften, like the gaze underneath your eyes, the muscles around your cheeks, your forehead, your jaw, softening through your chest. Now I'm going to bring myself out of this to hold space and play some chimes, but you are welcome to be exactly as you are. If you feel super comfortable with your eyes closed in your Shavasana, please feel free to do so. If you would prefer to keep some eyes open, that's perfect too. Taking a few minutes together to allow your breath to encourage an awareness of this, support underneath you, and sinking into that, breathing into that. Letting your arm bones be heavy, your hip bones be heavy, your spine be heavy, your feet be heavy, your neck, your chest, your breath be heavy. Using that as our space to sink a little bit deeper. Allowing your breath to be soft, organic, and whatever you need right now. If your intention is to close your practice together, I invite you to start deepening your breath without changing too much, just coming back to your body. If you are so happy where you are and would like to continue, please feel free to indulge. If you've been deepening your breath, maybe starting to add a little bit of movement, maybe a wiggle of the jaw, maybe a reach up overhead, maybe a bend of the knees. And when you're ready, gently making your way over onto one side. Taking a pause here to continue indulging in the resonance of your practice, both the more physically active and the physically restorative. And when you're ready, gently bringing yourself up to seated, maybe eyes closed, and seated being whatever feels good for you. From there, placing a hand over heart or heart center, second hand over that, and bowing in. It is such a privilege to be able to move our bodies together, and even further of a privilege to customize to what you need. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your blueprint today in your practice, and for honoring you and the things that you need. May the rest of your day or evening be filled with peace and consideration and kindness. And I hope we meet again soon. Thank you so much for your practice today. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you.